It is early October, and even though the weather is gorgeous, it is time to pack up this beautiful 2024 Ninja 500 away. Currently, I'm in the process of changing oil. Not sure if you can see that. It seems like most of it is gotten out. And I figured today, as I'm putting this bike away, I already put stable fuel or fuel stabilizer in it and some fuel. Now I'm doing an oil change. After this, we're going to work on the chain, clean the bike up, cover her up. So today I thought it was also a good day to give you a review of this bike after 2 seasons of riding. All in all, I love this motorcycle. It is a great value purchase. Looks and sound. Didn't really expect that it would get that much female attention. The budget is number one. It's really great on that front. If you look at what this motorcycle costs, not necessarily the sort of upper trims, but especially the base levels, especially if you buy them at the right time of year, you might be able to find some astonishing deals. You might be able to even snap up one of these for as close as $5,000, which in today's 2025 money is not a lot of money when you consider what all this motorcycle can be. It is a legit transportation solution if the circumstances as far as your climate and such allow for it. And also if you get the upper trims with some of the cool features like the keyless function here, which I really enjoy, even then priced out, these can still be had for a good value. The budget also should include the maintenance. It is very cheap bike to maintain. It only takes about 2/3 quarts of oil. The parts for even like exhaust parts and things of that nature, these other parts, are not that expensive, especially when compared to some of these bigger bikes that you see over here. So it's budget friendly from a user experience, not just an initial purchase price and such, but also in the daily use. It's very efficient with gas, of course, and in the maintenance. And the other thing is, because it's a relatively simple bike, because it's small, because it's light, you're able to work on it yourself with much more ease than again a bigger bike. And I think that is an advantage, because not only can you learn to ride on this bike, you can learn to maintain a motorcycle. And what you will find is it is a huge value right there, because if you take this to a shop, you will at least pay $100 some to get an oil change. If you do it yourself, I mean, you could do it with as little as $50 or less in all kinds of material. And if you spend a little more, and you might not even actually have to, I think, because again, how live these days, you can get some top of the line quality oil and filters and everything else and do it yourself at home. So not only do you get a little bit of better performance, you're taking better care of this motorcycle for way less than somebody else would take care of it for you. Number 2, looks and sound. The sound, obviously not with a stock exhaust, and I don't even think with necessarily just any sort of slip-on. I think it should be quality exhaust, or, besides the couplage, there's Yoshimura on this, they make quality exhaust for this motorcycle, but especially if you pair it with a better filter and a tune. It sounds really good. It sounds not just really good for being an inline twin, especially being only 452 cc's of displacement. It just sounds dang good for a motorcycle. I mean, people are impressed by the way this thing sounds more than you think. I am impressed by the way this thing sounds, and I've heard some really nice exhaust. When you go to an underpass, it is just amazing to rev this thing up. I mean, I hear this thing, I rev it, it puts a smile on my face. It's that sort of an experience. And so from that perspective, the sound is something that is really cool about this motorcycle. The other thing is the looks. It is beautiful, it is stunning, it is a gorgeous motorcycle. I actually get a lot of eyes on me when I ride this motorcycle, way more than when I ride this big, behemoth, which is a huge power beast. Even though this has, a tiny amount of power, isn't impressive in sort of those numbers. It just looks fantastic. The color scheme is excellent. The lines are amazing. The lighting is really good. Here's the thing, this is funny. This really doesn't happen to me otherwise or anywhere else. Ride around the city, because this is mostly my city bike. I'll pass couples, guy, girl, late 20s, early 30s. It's not the guy checking out this motorcycle, it's the girl, but usually from a distance. And this happened several times to the point where I thought to myself, no way are these motorcycle riders, statistically, it can't be, simply because of the makeup of motorcycle riders in terms of gender. And then as far as the people that know what this is, they might like to check it out. So it's not like, oh, guys looking at it like, oh wow, you know, that's the new Ninja, how you like it, blah, blah. They just see something, and I think it's this bike. They don't understand that this is a relatively entry-level bike, that it has next to like no power. I mean, a lot of cars are faster than this just in a straight line. But they see the looks, they see the lights, they see someone on it with the helmet. They don't even see what I look like, to be honest. They just see a figure on this motorcycle, and it catches their attention. And that was the funniest thing to me, because the last thing I got this motorcycle for, believe it or not, is to get attention. I got it for myself to have fun, to ride around. And I do love beautiful machinery, so yes, I got it for myself to look at too. But I didn't really expect that it would get that much female attention. It's kind of funny, especially because this bike here is so much laid back in its looks that in comparison, I'm invisible in this thing. For what it's worth, if it's a safety issue for you, if you're a new rider, if you want to be seen in the city, this is an advantage there. So it looks great and it sounds amazing, as well as it's a great value. See, and I think here's the main one. It really is, still is, and continues to be an amazing learning motorcycle platform. I got back on this bike after almost like 20 years off, this and that. And not only was it easy to get on, have fun, enjoy, be safe, it was easy to make mistakes on. I've had no trouble with it. So far, so good. But I will tell you that there are some technical mistakes I made where a bigger motorcycle would just not be as forgiving. And if you're not experienced with riding, if you're not experienced with a bike in particular, you can easily find yourself in a situation where what you do triggers a sort of reaction and things just go downhill from there. So there are a few times when I made some technical mistakes that I didn't even make 20-some years ago, but you just forget. And the bike is forgiving. The bike really allows you to learn as you ride. And that is a very beautiful thing, because it keeps you riding. One, it keeps you safe. So it keeps you riding, it keeps you learning. So if you're with it, if you're aware, if you concentrate, if you focus, you can learn, you can get a lot better, you can get more out of it, you can have more fun while being safer. So there's a great learning platform, and that shouldn't be underestimated. There's a second side to this. So as your skill builds up, you might think to yourself, all right, time to upgrade. Is it though? Because when you get this baby going and you're in the gears doing 30, 40 plus miles per hour, yes, a liter bike, super sport bike might still be faster when, they open up the throttle. But you will find in the real world, once you're moving, especially if you're enjoying some, nice country roads with some beautiful turns and curves, it doesn't matter. Once you're going, what matters is to be able to keep going. And that is where the nimbleness, the lightness, and the power to weight ratio of this motorcycle make it a fantastic bike to continue building your skills on. I would even say, in my case, it doesn't work out for practical reasons. It is a great track bike. It is a bike you can ride around the city if you want to use it for errands, transportation, whatever, just to have fun. And with just some modifications, not even that much in money or time invested for you to put this on, this can be a fun track machine. Will it be faster than some 600s? Probably not. But your skill as a rider can really develop and sharpen. And as you get better riding this bike, you have more fun. You don't necessarily need more power. You just need to be able to learn more and continue having fun. And that's what a great motorcycle is about. Other complaints I have are really none. People do complain about the screen. I do think technologically it is lacking. But at the same time, when you consider the fact that the less technology it has, the more likely some people last and be easy to use later on, then perhaps this will be a long-term advantage. Overall, I'm very satisfied with this motorcycle. There are times when I think to myself, should I have got a 650? Should I have got something a little different that would allow me to keep growing or have a little better power to ratio for someone my height and weight? The only time I think about getting a different bike, though, to be honest, is when I'm not on this bike. If I'm riding this bike, I never think about another bike. It's so much fun. It is so great that during the trips that I take with it, when I'm on it, when I'm enjoying it, when I'm just really feeling the sound, just enjoying the breeze, I never think to myself, I should have got this, I should have got that. If anything, I'm glad I got this. When you consider for how little money you can acquire this motorcycle, modify it, maintain it, and in the various case uses that you have for just one motorcycle, from as far as commuting, city trips, recreational riding, and even track riding, it might just be the best buy of sports bikes out there. That perhaps is a bit of a crazy proposition, because even just with the lineup of Kawasaki, this is the lowest entry sport bike as far as when it comes to fully faired bikes. But I don't really think that puts it at the lowest level. This isn't to say that the 650 or the 1100 SX don't serve their purpose or aren't just as great bikes. I imagine they're just as great at their purpose and for what they're designed to do. But overall, this motorcycle has so much going for it, and I think more of the world should be on two wheels.